What's up, everybody? We're back. It was just me the first time, and then it was me and Matt, and now the trio is back. It's the three of us, and we're happy to be here. We're going to be talking about TNT Tuesday, some NBA action, and in the description, there's some links to our social media if you want to follow us. You don't have to follow me, but make sure you follow these guys. Fellas, tell them who you are and where they can find you.
I'm Brandon J. McDermott. You can follow me all over social media at Brandon J. McDermott.
And I'm Matt Brown. You can follow me at the Johanna Jones.
Awesome, fellas. Thanks for coming back, and let's jump right into some NBA action. So we're going to start off with the Tuesday first game. It's going to be the Detroit Pistons taking on the Washington Wizards. Detroit is 15-46, not having the best of seasons. 30-31 against the spread, though. They are a 4.5-point road dog, and Washington is 27-33, 23-35-2 against the spread.
You know, one of the least interesting games of the night pits the second worst team in the East versus the fifth worst team in the Eastern Conference. For the Pistons, Cade Cunningham is having a solid rookie season, about as solid as you can get. He is, in fact, the runaway favorite so far to win the Rookie of the Year award. On the other side, the Wizards guard Bradley Beal's out for the season and has been sorely missed in the lineup. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope has filled in adequately for Beal, averaging 17 points over the last 5 games. Cal Kuzma's had 34 and 36 over the last 2 games, and I expect him to have a big game from him. At home, I think the Wizards are the go-to team for me. I see them winning by 6.
Well, look, the Pistons are coming off a crazy game against the Hornets where they won by 1 in overtime. I just think they're actually playing well right now. I know they haven't been playing well all season. A young team that's off to a good start coming out of the All-Star break. The last time these two played was on Valentine's Day a couple of weeks ago, and it was also the last time Detroit scored under 100 points. I don't think that happens here. Cade Cunningham has scored at least 15 points in all 3 games since the break, and the Pistons are getting all kinds of contributions. Heck, Kelly Olynyk dropped 20 and 8 and sink the game-sealing shot against Charlotte. I actually do like the Pistons in a big upset here to continue their spurt of good play. Don't think I'm going to say the Pistons are going to do good at the end of the season. Just now.
We won't hold you to that. And the one good thing about the Pistons, are 2-1 as a favorite, but they're the dog here. Detroit, let's find the positives here. They're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5, where Washington's 5-14-1 against the spread in their last 20 games. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to go right out the gate. Mats are going to stick together. I like Detroit on the road with the 4.5 points. And a little bonus, I'm going to go with the Detroit Pistons first quarter money line against Washington in another little bet. I love betting first quarter NBA. I don't know what it is, but I like Detroit to jump on them in the first quarter. So let's jump into the next game with the Atlanta Hawks for 29-31, 27-33 against the spread, taking on the Boston Celtics. 36-27 on the year, 30-32-1 against the spread, and Boston is a 5.5-point home favorite.
You know, this one's a bit one-sided by Vegas standards, with Boston the 6.5-point home favorite. Both teams are 3-2 over the past 5 games. Trae Young has averaged 28 points and 10 assists over his last 10 games. He had a 41 in the last game, a win over the Raptors, but 14 in the loss against the Bulls in the game before that. Very up and down. Consistency is what he is searching for. The Hawks have taken 2 of 3 games against the Celtics this year, but I expect those Celtics to take control at home, to pull out, cover, and to win.
I think this is a really interesting matchup here, with the Celtics coming off a bad loss to the Pacers and the Hawks coming off that good win, like you said, Brandon, to the Raptors. I still really like Boston here, as they get to play at home for the first time since the All-Star break, and that loss was only their second in their last 13 games, at least straight up. Yes, Trae Young scored those 41 for Atlanta against Toronto, and I expect him to have another big game, but I also expect the Celtics to nullify the rest of the Hawks roster, leading to a victory. Do I expect them to cover? I don't know. Something about Trae Young makes me think he's going to keep it close. Maybe I'm leaning more towards the money line here, but definitely a Celtics win.
Nice. Yeah, I like that money line. I think is a good play here as well. I'm going to go with Boston in the 5.5. They beat them by 10 on February 13th, and that was a 7.5 point spread there. So I think they can cover the 5.5 there fairly easily. And I'm going to go with the Celtics first quarter money line, because I think they're going to jump out on there and they're just going to cruise. They're not going to win all 4 quarters, but they're going to win the first one. That's all I care about. So, guys ready? Let's jump into the next one. We've got the Brooklyn Nets taking on the Toronto Raptors. Brooklyn 32-29, 23-36-2 against the spread. Toronto's 32-27, 33-25-1 against the spread. This spread is a close one. Who are you guys taking?
Well, it's a battle of the 7th and the 8th seeds in the Eastern Conference, but the Nets are beat up with Ben Simmons and Kevin Durant out. And of course, Kyrie Irving not playing home games in a wild story, a COVID-related story this NBA season. The Nets have won both season matchups thus far. The Raptors have lost 4 of 5, but before that, they had won 8 straight. The storyline of this game is, of course, Kyrie Irving not playing after scoring 38 in a win on the road against the reigning NBA champ Bucks last weekend. Because of that hole, I'm going to take the home team Raptors to win this one.
Second night of a tough home and home back-to-back between these two, as they had to play in Brooklyn and then in Toronto the next night. I usually like to lean towards the younger team, and in this case, the Raptors for these games, and I think I'll stick to that. Yeah, Brandon, you bring up pretty much the biggest point of this game. Kyrie Irving won't be playing. Yeah, we all know it's an away game, but we also know it's in Canada. He's not allowed there. So I do expect a lot more from the Raptors than I do from Brooklyn. I don't think LaMarcus Aldridge will be playing many minutes. Maybe they rest a little bit of Blake Griffin, other vets, and of course we know Kevin Durant isn't playing. So I like the Raptors here. I like them by whatever line they got.
The Raptors are 16-13 at home against the spread. Brooklyn is 6-22-1 at home, so they should be thankful that this isn't a home game. They're 17-14-1 away. The line's been jumping all over the place, so I'm going to go Toronto with the money line. I'm going to take Toronto in the first quarter. I'm going for the under on this one. I don't think there's going to be as many points scored with the back-to-back games, and I'm going to go with the under as well. Those are going to be my 3 picks. We got the Golden State Warriors, 43-18, 30-27-4 against the spread, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, 32-29 on the year, 31-29-1 against the spread. And Golden State is a 2-point road favorite.
The Warriors are without Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Andre Iguodala. The Warriors have won 2 of their last 3 against the Wolves this season, but after starting off the year with several losing streaks, including losses of 5 and 6 straight losses, they've come on lately pretty well behind the play of Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards. Steph Curry hit like 12 straight shots in pregame warmups this weekend. I saw it on TikTok. ESPN was covering it. They were all over it. But then he shot 11 for 25 in a loss against the Mavericks. I'm going to take Minnesota to cover here.
The Warriors are such a dynamic team that it can go either good or bad for bettors. Like, they were up by 25 points or something against those Mavericks, and well, they watched Dallas simply go on a 26-1 run and eventually win that game. Klay Thompson, like you said, is still out, Brandon, so I think I like the home team T-Wolves here. One player you didn't mention, D'Angelo Russell. He might go off on his former team here to complement the ever-consistent Karl Anthony Towns. So I think Minnesota has a strong performance at home and at least covers here.
Minnesota is the 5th best team in the NBA currently against the spread in the first quarter. So that is going to be my pick. I love going Minnesota first quarter. Golden State, they're sadly not that good in the first quarter. But obviously, they've only lost 18 times, 30-27 against the spread. I'm going to go with Golden State on the road, even though they're beat up, but they are playing hot and they're getting ready for playoffs, especially after the All-Star break. They know what it takes to continue to get there to win championships. They got a lot of people with some rings on that team, so I'm going to go with them. Road favorites, 2 points to cover in the first quarter. Minnesota in this one. The Los Angeles Clippers taking on the Houston Rockets. Clippers 32-31 regular season, but they're 31-32 against the spread. Houston 15-45 regular season so far, 24-35-1 against the spread. Clippers 6.5-point road favorite.
Clippers are the 8th seed, and the Rockets, they're the worst team in the Western Conference. So the Rockets have lost 12 of their last 13 games, and they haven't won in 40 days. That's all you really need to know. I'm taking the Paul George-less Clippers, who've won 4 of 5 straight, to win here and to cover on the road.
These teams are coming off of a game that was way too close. A 1-point differential that shouldn't be given the records of these teams. It makes me hesitant to lean towards the Clippers, but you kind of have to. I mean, Houston's a dismal 30 games under 500. You mentioned the 40 days since their last win. I mean, look, the Clippers are a potential playoff team, even without Paul George right now. So, look, would I go with the money line to avoid having to watch the Clippers give up the comfortable leads in the final minute of the game like they have against both the Rockets and the Lakers the game before since the All-Star break? Yeah. Is that enough for me to say that the Rockets are going to be covering a spread? No.
Those handicappers, they know what they're doing. Again, it was a 1-point game, like you guys said. Clippers are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. Houston's only 2-7 against the spread in their last 9. As far as the over/under, the Clippers, they continue to go under. The Rockets continue to go over the spread. Usually when there's a trend that's leaning either way, I'm going to stay away from it. But what I do like is I like the Clippers here. They are much better on the road than the Rockets are at home for some reason. So I'm going to go with the Clippers -6.5 to cover the spread. And I'm going to go with the Clippers as well in the first quarter, kind of double up some money. I'm not going to take it in a parlay, and that's going to be my pick as well. Let's go to the last game. We have the Dallas Mavericks. This is a 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time game, taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. Dallas is 36-25, 34-26-1 against the spread. The Lakers, 27-33. 26-34 against the spread. Dallas is a 4.5-point road favorite.
You know, Matt, if you don't stay up and watch this game, you're going to be hitting midnight. But for the other Matt, not so much. It's going to be a nice mid-afternoon game for you. But I can't speak for everybody usually, but I think I can hear when I say this is the game we're excited for. The Mavs have won 8 of 10, and the Lakers have lost 5 of 6 and 9 of their last 12. There's been an issue of the fans booing the Lakers this season at home. It could turn ugly if the LeBron James-led LA team is unable to get a lead and keep it. They've been mostly competitive in their last 12 games, but losses are losses, and the Lakers did win the only other matchup of the season between the Mavs and the LA Lakers. But I see Luka Doncic continuing to go off. He shot 45% from the field, including 41% from three-point land and 35 points a game, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, over his last 10 games. I'm taking the Mavs to roll in this one and to cover by 7.
Well, look, we mentioned how the Mavericks did well against Golden State. That fourth quarter was magical for them. I think that this is a team poised and ready for actually a really good end to their season. However, this game may be more about the Lakers than the Mavs. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm on the West Coast here. It kind of just is with every game with LeBron James on the court. And I'm going to keep it short. The Lakers are downright terrible right now. 23 turnovers last game against the Pelicans, who they should be competitive with, and they just weren't. This is one game, and I know it could surprise, but I just like one of the teams by however many points they're given by the spread. I like Dallas all the way here.
Spread is usually about -110. This one with the money line -200. So if you put a $10 bet down, you are going to get $15. Me personally, the Lakers, they stink. And I'm not going to say I enjoy it, but I enjoy it. I don't know why I'm one of those guys. I love to watch LeBron lose. He tried stealing Taco Tuesday. I'm a huge fan of Taco Tuesday and now TNT Tuesday. I'm going to go with the Mavericks with the 4.5 points. I think that they are the better team here. They're scoring more. They're playing better defense. They should win on the road with first quarter again. Definitely going to go with the Mavericks. The Mavericks are the 6th best team in the NBA against the spread right now. Fellas, it was good to have you guys both back. We plan to do this every single TNT Tuesday. Sometimes there's 6 games, sometimes there's more. And again, make sure you check the description below. Click these guys' social medias. And fellas, if you want to tell them where you are and all that good stuff again, go for it.
Find me all over social media at Brandon J. McDermott.
And you got me, Matt Brown, at the Johanna Jones.
Enjoy the rest of your TNT Tuesday, and we'll be back next week. Thanks, guys. Take care.